Hello, my name is Rachel Smith. I'm a customer service supervisor here with Masterbooks. I'm also a mom of 4. We've been using Masterbooks for many years within our home with our family. And today I want to talk to you about our American history options that we have for your students, your children of all ages from upper elementary through high school. It is important now more than ever that we are able to present to our children studying of American history that is unedited and presented from a biblical worldview. I'm very thankful for Masterbooks and that I can trust that and know that I am getting that unedited version of history with the biblical perspective brought in. The first thing I want to look at is our America's Story series. This series is for 3rd grade through 5th grade. This series has 3 levels to it. Level 1, 2, and 3. Each one covers a different portion of American history. It comes with a student book and a teacher's guide for each level. Level 1 covers from the ancient Americans to the Great Gold Rush. Level 2 from the Civil War to the Industrial Revolution. And then level 3 from the early 1900s to modern times. As I said, each one of these has a student book and a teacher's guide. The student book will have all of the reading. I'll show you some of the pages here. It will have all of the reading and instruction for your student to work through. And then your teacher's guide will have in the front your course information, the overview for you on how to use the course as the teacher and the parent. It will also have all of your individual worksheets for the student, all of your consumable worksheets and assignments and projects and things to work through the year. It includes a daily schedule. It's our suggested daily schedule, but each one of these levels is for 1 full year of American history, studying that different portion of history. The America's Story, each level as well. I'm going to read to you some of the things that it incorporates. It says the activity pages are an assortment of map adventures, areas to write and journal, scriptures and famous sayings for copywork, hands-on projects, and pictures to draw and color. There is also a timeline project, including simple instructions for completion. So each one of the levels has a variety of activities for your student to help them no matter what type of learner you have. There's a variety of activities, lessons, and assignments there to help your student retain the information that is being taught. Looking more closely at the timeline, I'm going to show you some of these. So within the course, included with the purchase of the teacher's guide would be these timeline pictures. The student would cut out each individual picture, and as you're studying through the events, and each picture is associated with an event, and it has below the picture the title of the event and the years of that event. So you as a family, you and your student or just your student would be building a timeline. As they are studying through American history, they will add to the timeline, and that helps them to be able to see it right in front of them, gives an overview of what they have been studying for the year. So that timeline is already included with the purchase of the course. We do have additional timeline packets that can be purchased that have full color pictures included with them, that has additional events that can be added to that timeline. It has pages with each of the dates there that you could add to help you it just gives you more. It's supplemental to the timeline that's already included within the text, but it is more to add to that timeline if that is something that your family enjoys. Another great addition that we have, wonderful supplement that can add to your learning experience with America's Story, is we have audiobooks for each one of the levels as well. That is perfect if you have that student who learns best by hearing the lessons. You can pop in the audiobook, and the author herself, she reads through each one of the lessons. So she is reading the chapter to your student. That is also wonderful for maybe just popping in the car as you are traveling from place to place. It makes the course more open and go, where you can study with your student in that way. You can listen to the lesson and then be able to do the assignments at home or when you get to the doctor's office. It's also helpful for you as mom and teacher. If you need to work with another student or you have other responsibilities, you can turn on the audiobook and have your student listen to the lesson that way. Yes, your student can work independently and read the lesson independently, but if you like having that audiobook option, we do have those available for each one of those levels. And the next course I want to talk about with American history for upper elementary would be our timeline of the Revolution. And then I'm also going to mention this next one because they go together. They're by the same author, the biographies of the Revolution. And when I say they go together, that doesn't mean that you do the two together. It's just they're written by the same author, and they are presented in the same way. The timeline of the Revolution is studying our early American Revolution, the battles, the history events, the people, everything of the forming of our nation. And then the biographies of the Revolution is going to focus more specifically on the people of those events. So timeline of the Revolution, studying the history, the events overall, biographies of the Revolution, studying those through specifically looking at the people. Reading here just an overview of America's struggle to become a nation, timeline of it. It says, this course prepares students to experience the struggles and triumphs of the many who committed their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to build the foundations of freedom and faith we have inherited. Students will explore the causes of the Revolutionary War, follow along as leaders are chosen and battles are fought, and learn how the United States of America was established as a new nation. This is a distinctive study of American history from the Revolutionary War to the ratification of the Constitution. Students discover in-depth character comments, explanations of providential occurrences, founders' quotes, and poetry from the time period. So once again, there's different ways that that material is being presented to the student to help different types of learners. It goes on to say weekly projects and hands-on activities that are perfect for tactile or kinesthetic learners who learn best through doing things. It includes daily lessons, clear objectives, guidance on when to complete readings, worksheets, projects, and quizzes. I wanted to open it up here on the inside and just read some of the options of activities that would be given, projects that would be given for you to choose from for your student. Each one of these, the timeline of the Revolution and the biographies of the Revolution, will both have those same types of activities given to you for the student. So project here, let's just pick one. I'm going to go to chapter 29. Let's see what projects we have here for chapter 29. So chapter 29 was about Paul Revere, and you have a project here for chapter 29, which is a crossword puzzle that the students could do about his life. Projects for chapter 30 would be to make your own quill. Trace or copy the picture, cut out the two feathers, make sure to not cut on. So it gives all the instruction here. I don't want to read through each one of them. And so they can make their own quill. And then they can copy the first few lines of the Declaration of Independence with the quill. And then it gives them the option of coloring the map of the United States with the quill that they've made. Another one here, project for chapter 33, William Moultrie, that has a recipe for his cookies it will talk about his cookies and has a recipe to make his cookies. So different types of projects are presented. Usually with each chapter, there's more than one project. Sometimes there's just one, but usually there's options, so you pick whichever one is the best fit for your student there. The activities that are given, the hands-on projects, the way the material is presented. It spoke, and both of these are going to talk about character and the character of the people. And it's going to focus on that. Well, the author of those two also has this What a Character series of books. These are readers that she has written. This one is What a Character Inventors and Scientists, What a Character Extraordinary Animal Heroes, What a Character American War Heroes, and then What a Character America's Famous Spies. So these are a good addition to studying American history, whether you're doing America's Story, levels 1, 2, and 3, or the biographies of the Revolution or the timeline of the Revolution. These are great additions. If you like to incorporate literature and reading stories of the same time period with your students, or reading additional stories of the events you're learning about, the people you're learning about, the What a Character series is a great way to do that. Within the back of each one of these What a Character series, like this one is America's Famous Spies. I'm going to show you. So this is included in the back. The bold here is the chapter of this America's Famous Spies, and it says Chapter 1, Nathan Hale, would be great addition to add to America's Story, Volume 1, The Fight for Freedom, or America's Struggle to Become a Nation. And then picking up America's War Heroes. Again, going to the very back. Chapter 8, Sergeant York. That would be a great addition for America's Story, Volume 3. So it tells you where to incorporate it. One of my favorite ones of this What a Character series is the Extraordinary Animal Heroes. This is just fun, cute stories, many things that I had never heard before. Maybe your student has. There's a couple of stories in there I had heard before. A couple of movies are made after those stories. That's probably why, more than anything. But so I'm picking up one here. Let's just say Chapter 8, Smokey, the dog who strung telephone wires. And it says this is a great addition for America's Story, Volume 3. And then Sergeant Reckless, the horse who carried ammo and wounded. It's another one for America's Story, Volume 3. And then another dog here, which you've probably heard of, Chapter 4, Balto, the dog who saved Nod. So many different stories there that are a good addition to your American history study with your elementary students. Another one is Meet the Chief. And this says, Meet the Chief, a fun look at the U.S. presidents. And this is going to begin with our very first president and work all the way up to our current president. Inside Meet the Chief, I'm going to just turn to a page here. So this is Woodrow Wilson. And as you can see, we have some key points about him, and then the timeline of his presidency, more information. And then right here, a note out right here in this corner, you have what is called Who Am I and trivia about the presidents. So as your student and you are studying through the Meet the Chief book, the top of each page is going to give you a trivia question and another Who Am I question for you to go back and study and remember and recall the other presidents. So the first Who Am I is 1817 to 1825, and it has a picture of the president. So this is a way to review with your students, see if they can remember based upon the picture or the date that's given of which president that is. And then the next one is a trivia question. Which president served 2 non-consecutive terms? So each one of these, so as you're moving through, you're given a review and trivia continuing on with your student. So if you would like to add in your American history studies where you're focusing on learning all of the presidents, great way to be able to do that as well. Maybe you want to throw in some geography study with your elementary students on American history. We do have this wonderful elementary U.S. Geography and Social Studies course. The books that go with this course are beautiful. So they're hardback books. We have the Passport to America, and this one doesn't want to pick up, Children's Atlas of the USA, and this is a larger one here. The Passport to America, I want to point out, in the very front cover here, you actually do have a passport for your student. And as they are studying and learning about the different states, there is a place to stamp for that state. And we do have stickers for you to stamp, and that is included in the back of the Passport to America right here. So as you're studying through each state, it's as they're traveling through each state and they get to stamp their passport booklet with the sticker there. And each one of these states, as you're studying through, it's going to have questions, did you know? So it'll have some fun facts about the state, interesting facts about the state. You'll be given statistics about the state, the size of the state, state birds, state mottos, as well as studying about maybe a particular food item that the state is known for. Once those food items are focused on, like right here, I was trying to see on, so here we have, I opened the pages to Alaska, and it's Alaskan king crab legs for Alaska. And then Arkansas has fried dill pickles for Arkansas's focus. So you'll learn why that's being focused on, what about it, and then there are, within the teacher's guide for that week as you're studying, there are recipes given for that food, where if you want to incorporate doing some cooking through the country, as you're going through each of the states, so you can cook your way around the United States as well. So again, wonderful supplement, a wonderful way to present studying American history, American social studies, and culture for your student. This is another full year course. You could use this as your standalone history and social studies course for the year, or it would also be a good elective to add along as you're studying America's story or one of the other two early American histories at that elementary level. Now I want to move on to our junior high. So at the junior high level, if you are wanting to study American history there, we have For You They Signed. And this is another one that is going to be focusing on that early American history time period and looking at the forming of our government and the Constitution, but more specifically at the people who signed our Constitution. And that's why it's called For You They Signed. So I'm going to read here. The course objectives here are you're going to evaluate the signers of the Declaration of Independence, investigate the Christian principles America was founded on, demonstrate an understanding of Christian character, learn why the Declaration of Independence is still important, and be inspired by the Founding Fathers' faith and courage. So that's what you're presenting to your middle school students. 7th through 9th grade is where this is targeted. I also want to read a little something to you here about this course. It says, in this study, you will have opportunity to learn how the American colonists chose to respond to the increasing tyranny of the British Empire, and why the course of revolution was one they took after all other efforts of relief had failed. Once their decision was made, they signed the Declaration of Independence, and in doing so, carved out a remarkable and powerful recitation about the rights of individuals which come from God Himself. In the accounts of their lives before and following their signing of the Declaration, you will discover the immediate impact of this document on the fledgling nation and the families of those who stood boldly for the cause of freedom. So it is a presentation of our American history and the forming of our country that's very important that we as citizens are aware of and being introduced to, that we're not forgetting. So wonderful for that middle school student. This is one of my favorite books that we have as well. Next, we move up into our high school level. And so for the high school level, we have full American history. So in the elementary, it's kind of broken down to where you would be studying different portions of history each year, whether it's America's Story, the America's Story series, studying the different portions through levels 1, 2, and 3, or whether you are choosing that early American history study with the fight for freedom and America's struggle to become a nation. And then again, middle school, early American history. So this is one that is 1 year course covering all of American history from the founding fathers to our modern day. So this is when, at the high school level, is when the student would have all of American history at one time for 1 full year of study. Things I want to point out about this course as well. Again, it has a student book and a teacher's guide. And with our courses that have that student book and teacher's guide, again, the student book has all of your reading and instruction, and then the teacher's guide has your schedule, your consumable worksheets, and then also your answer keys, a course description for you as the teacher. But something here I want to point out about our American history at the high school level that's included. It says, there are 2 primary points of view about the way history is formed and thus remembered. One says that history is nothing more than arbitrary events connected by happenstance. The opposite point of view argues that there is a design, purpose, or pattern in history. As a matter of fact, history is nothing more or less than an unfolding of God's plan for the world. So again, it's presented in that biblical worldview perspective for your student. Some course objectives here with the high school American history are they are going to examine history through the writings contained in original source documents, compare and contrast the cultures of early Native peoples with the first Europeans, observe colonial life and the cause of the American Revolution, discover the roots of revivalism, as well as the Christian worldview so prominent in the founding of the nation. Study current-day social issues that shape the United States as a nation, including civil rights, ecology, and abortion. And then learn about the rise of the U.S. as a global leader through war and peace. So again, 1 full year of studying American history at the high school level for your student. The last course that I want to present for your study of American history with your student is a course, again, for the high school level. This one is typically used for 11th or 12th grade, and it is a civics and the Constitution. It can be used, as you can see, 9th through 12th grade at any time. Just typically, it is used in that later time for studying the Constitution, more specifically at the high school level. Want to read a portion of this one as well. It says, the U.S. Constitution remains one of the most amazing safeguards of liberty ever written. But it only works if we, the people, know not just our rights, but the way the government is designed to work, not for the benefit of an all-powerful federal government or per the whims of a judge or a political party, but the actual protections at every level that are designed to keep power in the hands of the population for which it must serve. Through this course, the student's going to study the 3 branches of government and how they are meant to interact, what happens throughout history when checks and balances have been ignored or circumvented. Learn you and other citizens can carefully vet candidates that adhere to the Constitution as it was written, and learn to work to support legislation that works within the constitutional boundaries and not special political party interests. One more thing, I have a few things right in the front of the book. It says, our desire is to help Americans understand their own history and to learn and fully appreciate their own heritage by reacquainting them with the worldview and the vision of American founders. So this is a wonderful study when you need for your upper high school student, if you're required to do that, civics and the Constitution, this is a great option for that. Excuse me, I have something in my throat. The last thing I want to point out to you is our map trek, atlas and outlines. And I wanted to bring attention to this because this is just, this is a supplement for any history course that you are doing with your student. But I wanted to be sure to point this out as we were focusing on American history, because this does have a lot of American history maps. First, within the back of this text of the atlas here, trying to find the front of it, we have an entire section that is U.S. maps. So this is just a section going through each one of the states of that. So the atlas has the full color, fully labeled map. But then when you get to the outlines, this is where you're going to have those blank maps. So this is a good addition if you are any of our history courses from elementary through the high school level. If you want to bring in map studies and map activities for your student, this is a great addition for that. Something else I wanted to point out with this is it's going to, even if you're doing that early American history study, we have Native American maps here before the discovery of America. We have maps of the 13 original colonies. And then also we have some maps of the wars here. I wanted to point that out. So like we have the War of 1812 and a map of that. So many different things that you would be studying with your student, whether it is early American history or the entire course of history. Another one here. This map is states with the harshest Jim Crow laws, states granting women the right to vote. Another one here with major cities of immigration. So different ways to study through maps of the United States that are helpful with any history course that you are using, but even more so if you're studying American history specifically, we have those maps specific to that. And again, atlas is the full color maps. The map trek outline, these are your blank maps. This also includes mapping activities and suggestions of things to do with your students to incorporate that within your studies. I hope that this session has given you a good overview of what we do have to offer with masterbooks for your student with American history, and help to bring to your mind the importance that we have as parents and teachers to present to our children the American history from that biblical worldview, and to help us realize what it took to form our country, and for us to realize the responsibility and importance we have of being citizens of our country, and to pass that on to our children and grandchildren.